What's up, good people? This your boy Scott Lewis here with John on another apartment gamer and more Brooklyn Nets Stoop Edition. What's good, John? How you been?
Hey Scott, hope you're doing well. Wishing you and your family a very Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Brooklyn
you
fans, I'm
too.
wishing
You
all of you a
too.
very wonderful, relaxing Christmas. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on this week. Like today,
Yeah.
checking Twitter, there's like over 20 different trade speculation rumors on people that could be moved. I think Malik Monk of the Kings is now available because he just got benched recently.
Right.
Apparently, Draymond almost sucker punched Stephen Curry yesterday
You
because he
think
don't
they
want to
would get
guard
rid of
centers
Draymond?
anymore. And it was
You think they would get rid of
I
Jay?
think they're on the brink of it. I think the I think they're going to have to make another crazy move soon because the Jimmy Butler move, it worked a little bit last year, but it hasn't worked to the point where they're a legit championship team, and he's missed some time. He's had some tiffs with the team over like Jonathan Kuminga and all that. The Kuminga stuff, like that stuff is just a nightmare like it was a few months ago, even though he got paid. And then Curry, he's trying to be the end all be all, but the injuries are catching up with him. And just right now with Draymond, his attitude, like it's hurt them a lot the last few years. When they're winning titles, it was digestible. But given the fact that they're trying to make every minute count of what's left of Curry's prime right now, it's tough because if Draymond wants to now butt heads with the coach, you're gonna have to call some audibles soon. And Draymond, I think, said after this contract he might call it a career or he might sign with somebody else on a very short term deal. But Draymond's career is not going to be going long forever. So yeah, I think there could be a drastic move. Not this deadline. I don't think they'll trade Draymond this deadline, but next summer, if the Warriors, let's say, are a playing team, get knocked out the first playing round, there's definitely got
Right.
to be changes because you have Jimmy Butler, I think, making $60 million next year, which is crazy on your cap. Curry's going to be what 37, 38. Like the end
Right.
is
Right.
near for Curry's career. So if they're not maximizing it, they're going to have to sacrifice a core piece to do so. And the thing with Claxton right now, Brett Spiegel reported today that the Warriors have been in contact with I think the Bulls, another team, and us about centers, and apparently they might want Claxton, but apparently they don't want to take a center salary that's at least more than $15 million, and Claxton's making 25 mil. So unless they don't find a cheap center like a Robert Williams out there, they might be forced to pay a price with us. But that would include using Jonathan Kuminga in a three-team trade deal to move Kuminga to a third team so the Nets could get the contracts we need to match Claxton's salary. So yeah, the only way I see the Nets and Warriors doing a Claxton deal is if it's a three-team deal around January 15th to February 5th when Kuminga's can be traded. He doesn't have a trade op till the 15th. So if a deal like that's going to go down with us and the Warriors, they'd have to rope in the third team. Right now, the salaries don't work because the Nets would have to take back like five salaries to get off of Claxton to the Warriors, which we don't have crazy roster space right now unless we start waiving guys or trading guys. So
What
it would
about
only make sense once Kuminga's available.
what
So
about the Lakers involvement? Because the rumor also is that the Lakers are looking to at Claxton real hard. I think he might fit.
I've heard we've heard rumors about Clax to LA for a long time, but they got the eight move on the cheap and eight, and I'll give it to him. I didn't have high expectations, but he's done well for them so far. I think much well than they thought. They also have Jackson Hayes as a backup. He's been doing okay. I mean, if they feel like it's feasible to maximize Luca's prime right now, by all means, you just sign the guy to a big extension. He's your future. LeBron's likely going to sign with one more team before he calls it a career. So if they want to maximize this year, they should. But at the end of the day, I think every roster is evaluating, can my roster at least take OKC to a game past the game four in a series or something like that. And I think for the Lakers, they'd be taking on a lot of Claxton's salary. But the good thing is they have pieces to give up. They have Maxi Kleber, Gabe Vincent. They have a lot of expiring salaries. Jared Vanderbilt, like they have
Yeah.
different salaries to make it work with Claxton. It's just are they finally willing to give up those valuable firsts they've been holding on to the deal life? That's what they have to ask themselves. But if they think that they could play Claxton and Aiton on the court together, by all means do that because
Yeah,
Claxton
that's
would
what
be a
that
good
was the deal. Yeah, they were talking
he would
about
be
Claxton and Aiton on the court.
yeah, he would be a good defensive insurance policy for Luca, and I think that's what Luca needs in the playoffs. We've seen Luca. What was it last year against Minnesota? 65% they scored against Luca in the first round. That's atrocious. So if they feel like they need that defensive anchor, I could see it, but I haven't heard the Lakers are dead set on going after Claxton since they signed Ayton, so we'll have to see if that changes or not. And then the Bulls, I mean, they want to be a competitive team this year. They've fallen down a little bit. It seems like they're trying to get back up. I mean, Nikola Vucic and a pick for Claxton is perfect on paper for the Nets because it's an expiring salary and you get a pick out the deal. Because we don't know if the Bulls are going to be anything close to a championship anytime soon. I don't think they will if Josh Giddey is your only corner guy. So I'm totally fine making a move like that because that pick could work in our benefit and we get the free cap space. So I wouldn't even count out the Bulls either from being a potential Claxton suitor. I think Claxton definitely has a market. I mean, the Celtics, they are in third place right now. We've talked a lot about this. Like apparently Tatum might seriously come back in March. And if you
Yeah,
have this team being close to a top three team seed, all they
yeah.
need is an actual center. If they trade for Claxton right now, a Tatum, Brown, Claxton trio, it could be super competitive in a weak East right now,
I
especially
mean,
against
the
Knicks,
Celtics.
Cavs, and
Yeah, but the
Detroit.
Celtics would have to give me a lot for me to trade Claxton to the Celtics, man.
I
I
mean,
mean, that's
if
a
like
division foe. I mean, it could work for them, and Claxton's young enough for at least a couple, 3 or 4 more years, easy.
right, I understand that, but the value with doing that deal is we get Simons back. That's a $27 million expiring contract. The Nets actually get $2 million in extra cap space on top of the expiring salary that they would have had for Claxton's salary on the books. So that benefits the Nets. A picks, I totally agree with you. Boston has a lot of different picks they can utilize. Maybe we could get an unprotected first. And if the Nets, let's say, add Cam Thomas alongside Claxton to Boston, maybe they give us a protected future first. If I could get a huge expiring salary and two firsts for Claxton Cam, that's a good deal for the Brooklyn Nets because it positions us with our assets very well, and we have extra cap space going to a crucial next summer where we have to get veteran pieces to actually start getting the ball rolling and trying to win actual games because we have to at that point. So that's a deal I consider. I also hear Boston's looking at Zubats from the Clippers and James Harden's name. This guy, I know I don't know if it was you. Somebody said that James ain't going anywhere. It's the twilight of his career.
Oh, he
Listen, he's
might be
still
traded. He might
he,
go. He
he's
might
still
go.
playing at a very high level, and I keep hearing Minnesota really wants a high level point guard next to Ant Man. I mean, Harden and Ant Man, I've never seen that as being feasible, but if they want to go for it against OKC, go for it. So they're a team that could potentially trade for Harden. So I think the Clippers, if they do trade James or Kawhi, Zubats going to Boston for Simons and some capital, I could see that too. But if I'm the Nets, I'd rather get that deal done first because at least then I'm maximizing the fact that I get the cap space, I get extra picks, and it keeps Boston all away from us near the lotteries, which is a win in our book. So I
Yeah,
think it's definitely something to consider. Clax definitely has a market right now. It's just what team is willing to stomach the 25 he's owed this year. It goes down the next 2 years, but if a team really wants him this year, they're gonna have to stomach the 25 mil, which they should
yeah,
if they really want to win.
yeah. Let me give this lineup. For Brooklyn tonight against Philly, they're playing at Philadelphia. Terrence Mann, Michael Porter Jr., Igor Demand, Noah Clowney, and Nick Claxton as the starters. For Philly is Jared McCain, Paul George, Therese Maxey, Justin Edwards, Joel Embiid.
Oh, and B
Uh,
started playing well. That's
Embiid
cool.
is starting tonight. VJ Edgecombe is not playing. He's off the.
Damn.
So I was looking forward to seeing him play. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about. Let me see this right here. Let me bring it up. Trade stuff that's going on with the Brooklyn Nets.
Hmm.
Let me bring it up. Sorry. There you go. Sorry, guys. Yeah. On Nets Wire today, they talked a little bit about trading Michael Porter Jr. and which I mean I understand that he's at this high level to get Michael Porter Jr. traded. For me to get him traded, you would have to give me a Mikal Bridges Hall or close to it at least because he's definitely playing like an all star. So Fisher for the Nets Wire had goes on to say that the pieces that the Nets are remaining eager League sources say they play facilitating a multi-team trade construct that set them up to turn unused salary cap space from the summer into draft capital, as it's been the case since the past offseason. Brooklyn has been trying to get draft picks and or young players by using their league leading cap space to help teams facilitate trades that they need to improve their roster. So they particularly talking about the Boston Porzingis to Atlanta Hawks, who helped the Nets helped them, and in return got man and a one draft pick, which turned out to be Drake Powell. So I mean, this seems to be like the MO of what Sean is going to be doing. So I don't know if it would actually facilitate to getting some more picks or possibly giving up MPJ, to give up MPJ with possible 2 or 3 picks would be, pretty much what what everybody's been talking about. So I don't know. I don't know how you see it, John. I don't think John is with us. John's got
I
problems.
mean, listen, this is exactly
Oh,
what the Nets did last. Wait,
yeah, they did it last year.
wait,
The
Scott, can you
same
hear me now?
thing. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
I hear you.
this is what Sean Marks does. We're listening, but we're not the aggressors. We're listening, seeing what team comes first. So I think with MPJ, he's put this team in a great position right now. Like you could potentially keep him going to next year to be your second or third option based on who you draft. You could trade him right now when his value is the highest. I just people have to remember this too. He's making $38 million. He's had 3 back surgeries. He's been a third option most of his career. Like as much as teams would really want him, nobody's going to give him Mikal or hole up for him. The best case scenario of a trade would be you get expiring salary, you get maybe a young player and 2 first round picks. If somebody's willing to offer that right now for him, I strongly consider it because you're not going to get anything better or lower than that. I mean, lower than that is a salary and a first round pick, which I get people wouldn't want to stomach because he goes somewhere else, does really well, then it's like we don't get a top pick, then it's like we shot ourselves in the foot twice. But at the same time, we're near the sixth or seventh odds right now, and as much as it's good having MPJ and some of these vets to help the young guys get more confidence, like with Yegor winning that other game the other day for the Nets. At the end of the day, beating up on bad teams, you do have the second best defense this month, but it's like we haven't played a lot. We've only faced a lot of bad teams, and it's like it's another mirage of this is what this team could be a year or two from now. No, because we haven't faced OKC. We haven't faced the best of the best teams yet, who likely would really destroy us a lot. So it's like the Nets have a lot to weigh this deadline. I think the Brooklyn Nets right now with MPJ. There could be some teams like Detroit, who I think has the best offer of assets. There could be some wild teams like a Bucks team who look very desperate. The thing I'm hearing is that they don't want to trade Giannis. They want to make in-season moves with their remaining picks and dangle a Portis, a Kuzma. And I get it. I wouldn't want those contracts, but if the Bucks are offering up their remaining picks, because they so want MPJ, I'll throw in Cam Thomas because those could be valuable picks down the line. Because the Bucks and Giannis, that relationship will not last past this year. So if they're really going to try to maximize a play-in seed with Giannis right now, go for it because now that's a desperate team basically willing to give me up what they got left, which means they won't be good after that. So yeah, that's a team to think about. Philly, they have to address the front court situation with George and Embiid because the backcourt's been great this year, but that front court's been injury ridden. Financially, Philly's in cap hell. So if they were willing to offer George that 2028 Clippers first and let's say a future Philly first for MPJ, I'm considering that too because Philly at the same time, they've had many chances to be a top team, but they've always dropped the ball constantly because of Embiid's injury career situation. They haven't been able to maximize a window around that. So if that's a gamble I'm willing to take. Yeah, George's contract sucks. He's a podcaster. He's towards the end of his career, but that contract will be done in 2 years after this year. So if you're willing to give me valuable picks, I'll stomach that for right now because maybe George is a good mentor player for these young guys, even though his money sucks. But getting the picks, that's valuable. And then you have some other wild card teams out there like Warriors who might be willing to give up some key assets. I just think the Nets are listening right now. So who could give a best offer for MPJ? Same goes with Claxton. And then you have Terrence Mann, Cam Thomas, Haywood, these other vets that are likely going to get moved for smaller assets. At the end of the day, the Nets are in a perfect position right now. You have the $15 million in extra cap space to absorb small or slightly bigger bad deals for picks. You could be an ultimate facilitator, third team with many different teams getting a second round pick here or there, or getting a young player like a Jet Howard that you really want to add to a young core. I just think for Sean Marks, take advantage of this. This is not going to come around a lot where the Nets are the only team with significant cap space to pull off different deals. So I would say take advantage of this. Yes, you have something that looks good from a chemistry standpoint with this current roster, but is this a roster that's going to go toe to toe with OKC in 2 years? No. The goal is to protect your lottery pick. And I know Shams talked about the lottery pick modifications and whatnot. That's not going to happen until all the executive GMs agree to that. And that's
Yeah.
not going to happen as soon as this year.
Let me get down Galo. Galo said I don't think MPJ will get two firsts and a young player, even as well as he's playing. I kind of agree with you on that. Considering Porter is having probably the best season of his career, he's averaging 25.6 points a game, 7.4 rebounds, and 3.3 assists per game while shooting 49.3%, which is the best he ever done. So and yeah, I would say the reason why it would be the best he ever done. Look what team he came from. Yeah, I mean, you got some great teammates in Denver. So MVP
Yeah.
and everything like that. So yeah, no, I don't. I think that just because the way the market is have changed with the tiers and the groups, teams are really kind of monitoring their money now. So
Right, and that's what the thing about doing MPG deals. Say if you did with the Bucks, right? Because you want their 2030 first pick and a 2030 second swap. You're probably gonna have to take Kuzma and Portis's contracts back. They're short term deals. Kuzma's only for 2 years, and then same with Portis's. It's like those contracts suck, but they match the money. And the thing is, the Nets have extra cap space to absorb some of that money. So it's like it hurts a little bit. But if the Bucks are seriously willing to give up those valuable picks that are literally their only picks left to be a mediocre playing team, that's how you take advantage of the MPJ situation. You're not going to get no Mikael Hall. A great scenario would be getting two firsts and a young player back, like
oh
Ron
wow, that
Holland.
would be
Like
great. Yeah.
like if you could get back Ron Holland and two firsts, unprotected firsts, and you just have the stomach Tobias Harris money for the next 2 months, that's a great deal because you have fresh money off the books. You have extra cap space. Maybe go sign another third option vet in free agency to kind of do what MPJ is doing right now. Until the Nets feel like they have a legitimate contender, you could keep doing the strategy of, I know Leaf don't like it, but getting third options on this team to be temporary top guys. And if the Nets young guys are being very competitive and growing their games, then maybe that guy becomes a legitimate part of this team's future. Or you trade him for even more assets like you're doing MPJ right now and keep that going until you're legitimately ready to contend. I just think right now we're not fully in a position to contend because it's really MPJ, Claxton, and then you have Clowney and the rookies giving you some contributions. It's not really a set system. I can understand why keeping MPJ makes sense because he could be your second or third guy if you hit on this draft, or if a Donovan Mitchell says, I want to come to Brooklyn, okay, you keep MPJ. But if none of that's happening right now, the biggest thing that you can
If
guarantee for
none if
yourself,
none of that if none of that is happening, then we have a setback.
exactly. And the only
So
thing
so you
that
can't so getting rid of MPJ is the way he's playing. If he's playing like a superstar, superstars attract stars attract other stars.
and he's
So
not a
if you
star
have,
though. He's a
but
third
I
option.
mean, he's playing like one now.
For a month and a half, for a month
I
and a
mean, you
half,
have to. You can't throw it away. You can't throw it away.
yeah, but we
He,
can't
this
throw
is
away our
this is
lottery pick
actually
either.
his. Actually his first time where he actually playing as a number one option.
I understand that, but the
So you
biggest thing
have
that
to
matters.
you have to base it on what you see. Now, I'm not saying that he can keep this up and score 30 points every game. I'm not saying that. He's definitely showed us that he can play third option on in a championship team. So he showed us
Right,
two
which I would
things.
be.
He showed us two things already. Or actually
He's
three.
shown
He
he's
showed
shown you
us
some.
he showed you he can be a team player. He showed you he can be a third option on a championship team. And he showed you that he can lead the scoring on a team. Now, I granted this team is not exactly great, but you can't take that away from in the NBA. Their talent level is very limited, like spaces. Like for instance, that and any given night you can lose to a losing team. You could just have a bad shooting night, and that team can have a great shooting night, and then you're gonna lose. You're
right?
gonna lose to that team, well,
You
regardless of what their record is.
you
That's
can't
what I'm
take
saying.
you can't take away the good MPJ's brought from a value
Right?
perspective. I
You
agree with
can't
that.
take that away.
But the main thing that matters is this last slaughter pick we have, because all the other picks we have, they're not our own picks. Besides, we
I
do have a
know
few of our
that.
own
I
picks, but
know.
they're not.
I
We're
know.
not going to be in the lottery in 2028, 2029 theoretically, because the Nets, everything that this front office has always done is they always want to compete as soon as they feel like they can. So
I don't
I,
think
I
they.
just
I don't think they trying to compete. I think they just playing. They playing the game. The guys
mm,
got to. In order for these rookies, look, VJ is playing the game in Philly. He's playing the game. He's giving it all he got, and they winning. I mean,
if
it
they were
is.
if they were just trying to play, you wouldn't have to play the vets all these minutes. Like you could find rest time for a Claxton, let's say. If you want to play MPJ,
Who
score this
else you
points game, but
got?
Claxton doesn't play every game. Like his value's been good, but it's like he's also cost you a bit with these triple double stuff and whatnot. It's like if you were trying to do this strategically, you could find rest days for your vets or limit some of their minutes to get some
But
young
you
guys
know the
more
league
playing
is
time.
against that. You know the league is against that.
The
I
league,
know. I know. I know.
like
They've been turning their back on it for a long time.
like I heard today what they want to do, right? They want to
Yeah.
implement these things with protections. If you're in the lottery 2 years in a row, you can't be for a third straight year. But that should have been implemented years ago. Like it seemed like Philly should not have gotten all these lottery picks when all they've been is a second round. The Spurs, as much
Yeah.
as they shouldn't have all the talent they've had, they've actually won titles. They've actually made use of the what they've done with how they've maneuvered this. So I can't take that fully away from the Spurs, but this stuff should have been implemented years ago, like especially last year when we actually were trying to do this the right way. Like the fact that Philly was just a spot ahead of us and they were royally tanking with no selfishness whatsoever, and they get VJ Edgecombe, like that irritates me. And now they're talking about doing this. They're not going to do it this year. First of all, it takes a vote from everybody on the board. Every GM has to vote yes to have all these new implementations, but it's not going to
Uh,
happen right now unless it magically happens before the deadline or something like that. It's not going
yeah.
to happen right now. So
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't do anything
And you're
from
looking
that
at a
standpoint.
third of the teams in the league that's doing this. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not like they're gonna vote for it. I could Gallo's saying I could see Detroit though. They are playing incredible in first place, and MPJ in particular fits that team to a T, and he could really put them in contention. You ain't lying. MPJ on Detroit would be a they'll be a problem.
Their
They will be
problem
a
right their
they'll
problem
be a
right
problem.
now, like they have great
Yeah,
depth
that's what
on
I'm
their team.
saying. It would really be a problem.
The only question marks are Tobias Harris. Like he's been good, a vet for them, but we see him in the playoffs in the past. He's never really been a great playoff player. Even last year against the Knicks, in those second and third games against them, he was not doing well. So if they want to swap him out for MPJ, that's a win for the Pistons. I mean, yeah, you have to give up Ron Holland probably, but still to get a guy like MPJ is playing like a top 10 player, why wouldn't you do with Detroit? I mean, if your only competition right now are the Knicks and maybe Cavs, if they somehow come back from the hell they're in, like you can win the East at that point. And I think that's a gamble both sides should take. And they have all the picks on their disposal to give up. So you want to give up a
If
2026
the
first
Nets,
and a
yeah,
future 2029 first? I'm open to
yeah.
that.
I mean
Like we
The
can create a great deal between both
Nets
sides.
can make it happen for any one of these teams that's really trying to push for a title. The question is, what are you leaving yourself to grow with? Because he apparently MPJ is a good team player. He's a good teammate. Apparently,
I
everybody
understand.
likes him. I mean, you that locker room means a lot in championship teams, man. I don't think people
I understand.
realize that. I understand there's like in the '90s with all this bravado that these star players have, like Shaq and Kobe, and all this disagreement. One thing was for sure though, when they got on the floor, they got busy. When they got on the floor, they needed each other. They knew that they knew, and they made it happen. Everybody else fell into place. I mean, those days are over practically. Now you want to play team ball where you have a system that, everybody can contribute. Your locker room means a lot. And apparently MPJ you know, is liked here. A lot of people like playing here. And you need a team. You need team.
I
I think
I
he would make a great teammate for a young budding superstar that comes into the league.
Well, that's if our odds improve. Right now, you're between the sixth or seventh odds, and if we keep this team as is, you're going to beat the Wizards, you're going to beat the Pacers, you're going to beat maybe the Pelicans, and those teams are going to have better odds than you. And it's like if you're telling me that at the end of the season, the reward is Kareem Lopez or somebody we weren't even expecting to draft, and you still have MPJ Clarkson, that doesn't give you a real future. You could be a version of the Kings or the Bulls where you're competing, you're having some wins, you make a play-in run, get to a first round, and then fast forward 3 to 4 years later, MPJ's 32, 33 years old. Back gives out. Claxton, 32, 33 years old. His
Well,
defense is like what
ain't
Dwight
nothing you can
Howard's
do about
defense
it.
was with the
Yeah.
Lakers. But yeah, nothing you can do about it, but it's time wasted. And for the Brooklyn Nets, there's no more time left to be wasted. 10 years has been wasted where you had potentially three of the best superstars on one team, and you couldn't even keep that together for more than a year. So it's like for the Nets, this upcoming draft is your last chance to do it right. And I get it. Taking MPJ Clarkson off this team forces Jaeger, Power, Wolf, Nolan, and even
It
Sriracha
forces
at 40
them.
points in G
They
League
gotta.
to have
They
more,
gotta.
to have
They
more pressure.
they gotta score 30
They would have
points.
more pressure
They
on.
have to be a
Listen,
threat
they
to
would have.
score every night.
I,
The-
Scott, I understand the pressure would be on their shoulders, right, without those guys. But you know what? Pressure creates diamonds, and the mentality of these young
okay.
men I've seen so
All
far
right. All
has
right.
been good. Listen,
All
I
right.
got to give it to some of these rookies. Even Nolan Seraph, who I didn't think were going to have type of performances in their development period as good as they have right now. But they're showing that if you give us the time, we give the effort, we're going to grow our games. And that you haven't seen that with rookies on the Nets team the last 10 years. You haven't seen them actually develop. They've always been side pieces. They've been a showcase piece for
Well,
maybe a year or two, and then
well,
they get
true.
dealt. It's like
Well, it's
you have
true
a
that we
future right
haven't
here.
really had no draft pick. We haven't had no draft capital in years, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We're at the point now where we could seal it up after this year, where we have full assets at our disposal to make true upgrades when the time is right. Not just when the time is to go throw it all at a superstar. No, it's actively to use when you need to make the right upgrades around the young core we have. I think right now, if you do fix the situation with the lottery odds and you get a Dabasa, a Peterson, or a Boozer to pair up with the five guys you drafted, you have the young core in place. Then you could just get the vets that you need to help the winning accelerate. And then the Nets are right there doing things the right way. With MBJ and Claxton, it's another short term gap situation, Scott, like we had with Bridges, like we had with Katie Curry after James decided to leave. Like these short term gap situations don't benefit your future. It just keeps you in a lull, a holding period. And for the Nets right now, your lottery pick matters more than the numbers of MPJ, than the numbers of Claxton, the numbers of any of the vets
Wow,
on
you
this
think
team.
so?
It
You think
really
that
does.
you think this lottery pick is better than
Scott,
MPJ?
Scott, Scott, I said the same thing about Cooper Flag last year. And people say, but guys, we're winning with Keon Johnson and Cam Johnson and Dennis
But
Schroeder. I'm like,
I
guys,
mean,
look
I
at
mean,
Cooper Flag, what he's
I.
done.
But I'm just saying, when you look at all the top picks right now, their teams are not doing that great. They're not going nowhere.
Philly's doing good with
Philly is not beating the
Edgecombe.
Knicks in the
Harper's doing
playoffs.
good with the Spurs.
Detroit.
Ace Bailey on Utah, they don't look great.
Philly is not beating the Knicks in Detroit
Wait, what?
in
You
the
said Philly's not
playoffs.
beating the Knicks?
In
They
Detroit in
just
the
beat them the other
playoffs.
night. Philly just
They're
beat
not
Knicks the
going.
other night.
Yeah, but that's
Hey, I
regular
think
season.
Detroit has.
Nah, the Philly.
Yeah,
Nobody
but
has
Scott, if
Philly
you get
going
if
to
you
the
if you
finals.
Scott,
Nobody has it. Nobody
Scott, we
has
all had
Philly
zero
going to.
expectations. Scott,
Dallas isn't
wait,
going nowhere. Dallas, where
no,
Dallas going?
they got Cooper Flag. They have a generational talent in Cooper Flag. They
Yeah,
just need to
but
get
we're
the pieces
still
around
looking
him.
at
They got what they need
years.
out of
They
that.
still need
Yeah,
pieces.
but they
I
have
think.
a generational guy. We don't have generational right now. MPJ, as good as he is, he's going to be 30 in 2 years. He's not generational.
Yeah, but
Some
two
people have
years is
deluded
2 years
themselves
from
into
now.
thinking,
You can't look
God,
at. You can't look past his time now. Actually, right now is his time. I think right now is his time. I think
on
right
what?
now his time to do what he need, whatever he is a professional basketball player right now.
He's not going to lead you to the promised land. This is not a Chris
I'm not
Paul type
saying
move
he'll
that
lead
worked with
us
the
to the promised
Suns.
line, but you need a team. You need a team to win a title. You
We're
don't
trying to.
need just a one. MVP don't mean nothing. You need a team. You need a team.
You need all the pieces, and right
Right.
now we don't
You
have
need
all the
pieces. I
pieces. We
get
don't
what
have
you're
all the
saying that
pieces.
you can get like a piece out of the draft, but that piece out of the
Not a
draft
piece.
is
I'm talking about a guy that transforms
well, we
everything
had
for
five
you.
pieces. We got five pieces.
You
We
have
got five.
potential rotation guys,
We
which is
we
good. You need
yeah.
rotation
All
guys.
right, there you go. But they not starters. They not real true starters.
Well, right now Jaguar's working on it. There's still a lot of work in development.
He
Danny
got a
Wolf
lot of
could
work
be.
on it.
Danny Wolf could be if Claxton wasn't, still here playing
Nah, that's
five.
not Claxton's fault. He probably can beat Claxton. Probably can beat him.
Ah, I mean,
I'm just saying, Claxton
Claxton,
probably a much. Claxton probably can straight 1-on-1. Claxton probably can beat Danny Wolf.
nah, Danny Wolf. Danny Wolf offensively could be Claxton in 1-on-1. Yeah,
I don't.
maybe
Just
he'll
because
block
he
a
can
shot.
shoot,
Maybe he'll block a shot, but Danny Wolf knows how to dribble the ball under his legs. Claxton doesn't.
but you don't have to. Claxton is a great
uh,
defender, man. He's a decent defender. If you're not,
not against the best bigs though.
well, shit. A lot of people ain't good against the best bigs.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That was a good reaction.
You saying the
Nah,
best
but I
bigs, then
understand
you
when it's.
saying MVP type players. Embiid and them when Embiid was the best player, he was MVP type player. Of course, he couldn't beat him. He was MVP.
Can't be
A
Jalen.
lot
You
of
can't
teams,
be Jalen Durant.
30
You
other
can't be Jalen
listen,
Durant. He's 21
30
years
other
old and
teams,
he's kicking ass.
30 other bigs couldn't keep up with Embiid and Joker. 30 other teams. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if y'all realize that. I mean, some people, I understand you need talent. I get it. I get it. I get that part. What I'm saying is you need a team to win a title. That's all.
I understand that. It's just right now our team still
You
isn't
can't
set.
just get rid of everything you got and then think that you're going to just you're going to get them off the wire.
It's not even getting rid of what you got. It's evaluation right now. I could see why they would keep him. Listen, let's say you get rid of every other vet besides MPJ because you want to keep your second, third star with these rookies and Clowney. I can understand to a certain degree, but then the Nets still have to put themselves in a great liar position to make that work. Because if you're forced to keep MPJ here, and then you have to pay him to be your temporary top guy for however
But
many years it takes, that's just going to waste time and progress.
Sean gotta know how to wheel and deal. He gotta learn how to get the players to want to play.
Man,
You
well,
gotta
that's what
learn.
this
I
deadline is
don't know
supposed
if
to
he's
be.
capable of doing it. I don't know if he's connected enough that he can talk to players and say, "Look, we'll front load pay you and back load pay you and stuff like that." I don't know. Can you take a pay cut? We want to run for the title in
The
2
only
years. I
Marx's
mean,
huge
come on. I mean, you got to say something. You got to tell the truth. Sometimes
Marx's
telling the truth gets you free. I don't know
Mark
what Sean is telling these guys because look at the Cam Thomas situation with his money. I
disaster.
don't
Like
even know if he really sat down with Cam Thomas and said, "Look, we want you. I want you. I
never.
just can't afford to pay you $30 million because we need more pieces."
If that's the case, why do we pay Kim Johnson and Claxton all this money if they were?
Well,
That's
they
the
paid,
thing. That's the
but
thing.
they paid Nick Claxton upfront money. His money is getting lower as the years go on.
Yeah, but it
That
was
was a great deal for him. It's
not after we
hard.
traded
It's
Bridges.
hard to get a big man.
Wait.
It's hard to
If
get a big man. It's hard
if
to get a big man in
if
this
we
league.
paid Claxton before we decided to break up the Bridges Johnson thing, I understand that. Because then you're eventually going to flip him. But after you traded Bridges, you're going through a rebuild. Keeping Claxton to me was like always counterproductive. Because it's like you don't have to keep him at that point. Find somebody to take him. Use
Who?
Dayron as a temporary starter, and
What are
then
you
you
gonna
draft Danny
get?
Wolf.
What are you going to get?
We could draft. We
Dayron?
had so many picks
Dayron?
to draft this
Dayron?
summer.
Wait, listen.
Scott. We had
Dayron?
so many centers
Dayron?
to draft this summer.
Wait, no. Dayron would be our starter. Dayron don't even.
Temporary.
Dayron.
Temporary. He would have been a
Dayron.
temporary starter.
that's not putting out product, man. You're not
What
building.
product, Scott? The last 2 years was about getting top talent, not putting out something that could
Well, you
sell
only got
tickets.
one
What are
pick
you
this
selling
year.
tickets with?
You only got one pick this year. You got one
Yeah,
pick. You
but
had 5 picks last year, and you still crying about people still crying about picks.
we could have
You had
drafted Ryan
five
Cork. We could have
first
drafted Ryan.
round picks.
Scott, have you seen
Five.
Ryan? Have you seen Ryan Corkbrenner and Maxime Renaud's numbers? I would have loved to have one of
Five.
those two bigs on
That
our
was
team.
on Sean. That was on Sean. You can't blame Claxton for that. You can't just get rid of people if you ain't got it.
That's why.
And he
That's why Sean
choose to pick 3 guards. I don't know
made no
why.
sense. It
That didn't
made
make
no
sense.
sense.
Well, then he effed that up. He messed
That's
that whole roll up. He should have went for Carl Brenner and the rest of them. Then they were there.
This is a great point that Jelly just brought up. We've been recycling players. Marshall's not a widow. This is Mark's problem. He always overvalues a return on any player that's on this team. With Claxton, Johnson, all the past players we've ever had, even James, Kyrie, even Kevin, like he wants the overvaluation. I need 5 to 6 picks and we're good. Now in this new CBA era, the Mikal and KD deals he somehow pulled off. That's not happening in this era. Nobody's lined up now to give you 3 to 4 picks. The highest you could expect back in any deal now is 3 first round picks. Not a lot of teams are willing to go over that anymore because feasibly, if you give up your first round picks and the guy you get doesn't lead you to a champion, you lose capital, you lose flexibility. So for right now with MPJ, people got to remember this. And I know Pod's talking about this Dylan Harper for MPJ fiasco. If Spurs would not do that, they would sooner give you Devin Vassell and Jeremy Sohan and a first for MPJ before they'd give you Dylan Harper. Like people got to remember with MPJ, he's making $38 million. That's not money that can go on cap books when you have zero cap space. And he's had 3 back surgeries. The best you could get is an expiring salary, maybe a young player if they have that to offer and wanted to first.
I
Other than
wouldn't.
that,
I
no other
wouldn't make.
team
I
has any
wouldn't.
reason to overexceed that.
I wouldn't make the deal then. I just wouldn't make the deal. I'm
Then
not
you have
giving
to.
up. I'm not giving up anybody that can average over 20 points a game for nothing. I'm not going to do that. I'm
Then you
not
have.
doing that. I'm not doing it because for the simple fact, you have to keep something in your kitchen in order to cook. You can't cook
Leftovers.
anything if you ain't got nothing but a bunch of leftovers and rookies.
That's
You
what
what
it
are you
is, though. These
cooking?
guys are
Because
leftovers,
none of these 5 guys are generational. None of them are generational, and I hate to even say that.
but they're building
As a
blocks. They
Net
don't have
fan,
to be.
they just good players.
And
I'm
you
not
know what?
saying
And
that.
what is
I'm
wrong
not
with having
saying.
good
I'm not
players?
saying this to be mean, and I'm trying to. I want this team to work, and listen, one of them can surprise me, even work out and become something. I'm not even saying that it's not possible. What I'm saying is they not showing you that they generational. Now, all the other picks that was in the draft, they showing off and on that they can be, but then you never know just because of the organization. It's important that your organization is about winning.
No, I totally understand all that. I just think for the Nets right now, listen, if you want to keep MPJ, I can understand. But at the same time, I understand the gamble you take. We give up MPJ for more assets to protect your lottery pick. I understand that's a gamble that I think many people do want to take because, yes, losing MPJ does suck in the short term, but in the long term, you did draft 5 guys. This is your last chance to draft a guy with generational potential that you've never had on this team. That's a shot you should be willing to take as opposed to keeping MPJ to sell tickets and hope he can replicate this going to his 30s. Why instead of hoping for that, we get the young buck that has
Yeah,
years
yeah.
to grow his game on this team. That's just my whole thing. Like Scott, Sean Marks has always done this where he has guys that are third or fourth options be the main guys of the team, and then he trades for the superstars. The superstars don't like him and don't want to be here. So for the Nets,
Yeah.
either you go back in that superstar market in a year or two, or you actually draft a guy from the draft, do it the right way,
Yeah.
and have a future. I just think for the Nets right now, we're stuck between 2 directions. You could choose one, but keeping these vets, leftover vets, to lead the charge with the young guys playing some minutes in between, or you fully commit to your young guys, let them be the identity, but you add pieces to it going forward in the market, on the trade when it's feasible. to build
Yeah.
around a core six. I think that is makes more sense for us right now because if we're not going to beat OKC, if we're not going to even get to the second round. If this team can't get to the second round, you keep it, then we really screwed ourselves here. I just don't see this as being more than a play-in or first round exit team right now.
All
If you
right.
kept it as is,
All right.
we need better than that.
The game getting ready to start. I like to thank the guys in the chat room, Galo and A Kid for their comments. Thank you. Thanks for joining. John, thanks for showing up.
No
John, where
problem.
they can reach you at on X.
Yeah, shout out to you, Scott. Shout out to you, Jello and Jay. Merry Christmas to all of you.
Merry
Yeah, if you want to
Christmas.
talk fun basketball, follow my Twitter, everything BKNS John. Trying to get to 500 followers. If you haven't yet followed or liked my page, please do because I'm definitely trying to produce the best Brooklyn Nets content possible. And I appreciate any of you for your follows and your dedication to following my content. It means a lot, and that makes me want to give you the best content possible. So shout out to you guys. Let's go,
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Nice. How everybody have a nice day. I'll probably be on after the game. I know the Nets are not coming on Christmas because it's the Nets, right? But happy holidays, everybody. I probably won't be back on until the weekend, but just keep a lookout. Hit the like and subscribe. Thank you. One love. Peace.
Peace.